Alright, hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the late surger banner timeline. This will be for the next 6 months, and this is going to be highly detailed and give you a lot of context about why you should or should not be pulling, right? Because the general timeline I was only able to really go through really fast because there was a lot more stuff to talk about in that timeline. So now we'll be doing specific for the position, right? For a late surger player, what are the things that you're looking for? First off, we got Oguri Cap Xmas. This horse can straight up be used as a late surger gambler, and she's even more gambling than a late surger because she's gambling on recoveries. So you gamble the recovery activation, you gamble your Ryan, you gamble your Dober. It's even more gambling than before, and you can still win just like before. Literally just play her in late surger if there's a lot of other accelerations that you want to go and play for, and then just gamble your way to victory with Oguri Cap Xmas. A very, very versatile horse. Depends on how much effort you're willing to put into the horse to make her into a late surger, a pace chaser, or an end closer. Even a front runner is possible if you have a lot of effort available for you. Alright, so that is Oguri Cap Xmas for you. Moving on, we have Tamamo Cross. This is a good horse for the long CMs because her unique usually gets good carryovers on those CMs. Tamamo is mostly meta if she's an end closer right now. But later on, when the late surger card is released, the one called Lose Yourself, obtained through Symboli Chris S Stamina and Manhattan Cafe Wit, then late surger will be more preferable and Tamamo will be very strong on the long CMs. There are stronger long horses, but Tamamo is perfectly viable as a long specific horse because of her speed carryover and because of this one awesome card called Manhattan Cafe Wit or Symbolic Chris S Stamina to give you the very important skill of Lose Yourself. That Lose Yourself skill is like a no stopping me but perfect proc. The exchange is that you lose 0.2 stamina, so you need to compensate by getting even more stamina than that. So there are better horses, but Tamamo is perfectly serviceable as a long late surger later and an end closer right now. Alright, after that, moving on, we have Haru Urara and TM Opera O. For New Year's Urara, this horse is much better than the OG Urara, but she's still not very strong. Her unique changes from a recovery into a speed skill, and that is already a very big improvement to the horse. This horse can actually win on the dirt CMs, on the mile CM. So if you really want to see Urara win, then I highly recommend to actually pull this version for your Oshi. Alright, this is a Urara pull recommendation, definitely not meta for dirt, but if you want Urara to win, get this horse. It's certainly a much better improvement to the regular Urara. Then for another thing to notice, I would like to point out that in JP, the translated name for this one is called Fall Down 113 times and Get Back Up 114, which is absolutely fire for Haru Urara's experience. Alright, moving on, we have New Year TM Opera O. This is a meta speed parent unique for mediums and longs, and she's a very, very good horse also for late surgers on some of these tracks as well. Later on, when we get that Lose Yourself skill, then what happens is that TM Opera O becomes a super desirable buff because the excel from Lose Yourself is so damn powerful that you actually need speed to go and diff other people. Otherwise, everyone's just losing yourself at the exact same time. So speed will be the main difference maker between all three late surgers that activate Lose Yourself, for example, right? So yeah, that's why TM Opera O is a very, very important speed skill to help the Lose Yourselfers to become stronger than the other Lose Yourselfers, right? So yeah. After that, we have the Matikane Fuku Speed. This card is a very, very strong high roll card, but the keyword here is high roll. She can actually low roll very hard because she has no specialty priority. This card is training bonus with race bonus with a bunch of support card stuff, which is basically reduced energy costs and also reduced failure rate, and then after that gives you 150 raw stat lines. So you are literally using this card to pray. You get a bunch of stats, which is amazing. After that, you pray that she lands on good spots and gives you fat clicks. When you click fat clicks, you get a lot of stats, so that's why she is a high roll card. However, sometimes she can just not appear on anything that you want to click on, and then the rolls will be very, very bad throughout the entire run. If the rolls are very bad throughout the entire run and you hit everything like your long S, your medium skills, your blah blah blah, but then your stats are not very good, then you might want to even restart the run. So it really just depends on how much difficulty you're willing to take in your regular day of running. Right? Do you want to hit your horse in 3 times? I don't think Matikane is the card for you. But if you want a card that can last longer than Make a New Tracks Narita Top Road, this is one of those cards that can always be used for any scenario, just as a reroll card. Just reroll until Matikane Fuku hits really, really good. When she hits really, really good, you have a very awesome horse already. But you also need to hit everything else that you're looking for, which is also another big problem with this card for me. Right? So yeah. take note of that when you're pulling for this card. Notably, there is going to be some free pulls here, either 60 or 100. I think it's going to be 100 because Rico they did 100, which means they're following JP standard. But if it's 60, I understand because historically it was 60 also. Right, moving on. We have Eishin Flash Valentine. This is mostly another Dominator debuffer, but she does have some decent mid-leg speed skills, and her unique is much better on the final straights where you can speed carry over. So that's pretty much the only thing that changes for this Eishin Flash over here. This Eishin Flash is notably not going to be a very good horse. It's just mostly a Dominator in particular. Eishin Flash unfortunately doesn't really get a very good ID at all. I think until like much later when Ballroom Eishin Flash comes out. I think that's the only one that's like okay. But until then, like this one, not it, unfortunately. Right, moving on. We have Fine Motion Wit and Kawakami Princess. So now we are approaching the very big conundrum for everyone. Right, this is the same conundrum for every single player. Do I pull Fine Motion, or do I pull Narita Top Road, or do I pull Fuku Gitaru? Which one do I hit? Right, there is no right answer for this one. So let me give you the context for this. Fine Motion is the strongest stat gain plus training effectiveness card in the entire game. So you really want to have this card. The problem is the timing. There's 1 million other banners that I want to pull on. Right, so after this banner over here, do I want to pull Top Road? Do I want to pull Fuku Gitaru? The other banner on the Fine Motion banner is Kawakami Princess. This card is actually a solid speed card, but it's not better than Biko, not better than Fuku, not better than Top Road, and not better than Kita-san, and not better than your Biko Pegasus. There are certainly much better cards than this one. Speed is a highly competitive market, so you really want to have very powerful stuff in your speed cards to give you an insane amount of stat points while giving you very good skills. This one is mostly used for team trials because of center stage. Occasionally, if you need center stage, then you can probably slot this card inside. Right, so pulling this banner is not too terrible. One solid speed card plus one Fine Motion Wit card. Right, moving on, then we have Narita Top Road versus Fuku. So which one do you pull on? I would say one of the ways to look at it is which one are you lucky on. If you put Fuku first, and you were able to get a lot of limit breaks on Fuku, you may consider just MLB then. Right, you might just MLB the Fuku right there. What about here then? Do you pull on this banner if you got Fuku? You pull this banner only for Admire Vega SR Guts as a stat stick and to allow you to use a Guts build if you really need to. For Make a New Track, we are using 4 Guts, 2 Wit, or we are using 2 Speed, 2 Wit, and after that the rest is filler for race bonus. Admire Vega can fit into both decks really well. This card has 15% race bonus, 1 speed bonus, and 1 power bonus. When you're using Guts cards in Make a New Track, you are looking for any card with insane training effectiveness and also insane bonuses into speed or power, but not guts or even skill points. As long as it's in the other 3 positions, it is going to be a very good card. So Admire Vega Guts is the grand prize from Narita Top Road's banner, and you will get free pulls on this also, right? But if you want more consistency, then Narita Top Road is queen. You want to go and pull this card, but understand that this card also has a shorter longevity than Fuku Gitaru because this card scales off of racing, and Ment is the only scenario where you will race this much. In Ment, you will basically get a crazy amount of fans and buffs the unique effect for Top Road to the point that you will get about 20 to 25 TE. It's very powerful stuff. So Top Road is very strong here and immediately falls off later on. So if you're willing to take that plunge, you can take that plunge. If you're not willing, then don't take that plunge. Alright, after that, for the rest of the cards, we have Ryan with 5% race bonus. It's unusable in Ment. And then Bakushin has 10% race bonus and gives tail held high, which is actually quite okay. So the recommendation here is to just pull for your Vega and your Narita Top Road. So for the more consistent players. And since there's free pulls, you can also free pull first and then save selected gems just for this moment right here. So you can get your Admire Vega to MLB as much as possible. And then for Top Road, if you hit a lot of Top Road, feel free to go more. If you never hit Top Road, and then you can just skip it if you manage to get Vega. But if you did not manage to get Vega, I highly recommend to go for more Vega. Because Vega is like the Riko Kashimoto of this period of time. You want to definitely get this card because it is a good stick to use in your decks or a good important core card for your Guts builds. Alright, so yeah, take note of that for this banner over here. So now there are 3 options. One is pull Fine Motion or wait for the rerun. Wait for the rerun is going to let you pull on S Maru plus Fine Motion, but the duration for Fine Motion there is shorter, 6 months difference. Alright, 6 months over there, and then if you pull it here, you can use Fine Motion for way longer. Right, way longer. So that's one thing to consider. Next one is pull Top Road or pull Fuku. If you got lucky on Fuku, you can pull that. Otherwise, wait for Top Road and just pull on that one, and then get one of them. You must get one of them, because one of your speed slots will be taken up by this card over here, right? Then the rest of your borrow slots, you want to save it for highly specific cards. Like if you don't have Fine Motion, then borrow Fine Motion. If you want to borrow Nice Nature, borrow Nice Nature for 15% race bonus, very powerful card. Or you can borrow any guards card that gives you insane amount of stuff, but you don't have it, like Ines Fujin for your really, really powerful stat stick, right? So saving that slot is very, very important. Try your best to get one of them as much as possible. Minusing one of them from the slot is very, very important. Notably also for Narita Top Rose banner, it will coincide with the Aquarius Cup, meaning that you can last second train a horse for the scenario, in demand scenario, which I think is horrendous because I really hate doing last second training for my horses. So I think that is quite bullshit, but if you want to do it, you can go ahead and do it. Then you would dump a lot of pulls into top road, or you just take your Fuku and run into DCM and just put a crazy amount of race bonus and just get an insanely powerful horse and then win your finals. Congratulations. Right, so that's pretty much it for the top road and Maya Vega and Fine Motion and Fuku Gitaru discussion. If you need more details for you specifically, go through Ko-fi, YouTube, Twitch or Discord. Otherwise, I really cannot help you because I don't know your pulls, I don't know your deck, I don't know how many gems you have, I don't know how lucky you are, right? All of these are important factors where you decide on what to pull on, right? Moving on, we have Matikanetannhauser. Tannhauser is basically like Urara, designed with a bunch of recoveries, so it's really quite hard to win with her because you have to force every single speed skill and every single excel into her manually, which is a bit annoying. It's not impossible to win because she does have the recoveries for long, so you can just save on bringing more cards for hunting down the recoveries, but ultimately you still need to pump up the stamina of this horse, so you will end up bringing like a super crit or something like that. So yeah, this card here, this horse here is a bit like Urara, where it's very, very hard to win with her, but some of you like her, so Mambo pull, right? If you like her, pull her, and then try your best to make her, but she's certainly not very easy to do, right? After that, we have Satono Diamond. This is a solid long horse that was made to rival Kitasan Black for the front position, because historically, Kitasan versus Satono was a very, very major fight. They both won each other once, very, very intense rivalry between each other, right? Her unique is a very last straight focus one. For mid-leg or speed carryover, that's where her unique shines. Otherwise, it's mostly a final leg speed unique, right? She'll become more relevant once Lose Yourself comes out. Once Lose Yourself comes out, then she'll be added to the late surges that can use Lose Yourself, and she can be a very, very powerful horse for certain tracks, right? That Lose Yourself card, it's the skill is just so powerful for the late surger. So Satono Diamond for now will be a late surger that can be used for long CMs if the mid-leg unique is going to be a very, very good timing. Other than that, she's mostly going to be a gambler for these kinds of CMs, right? Moving on, we have Mejiro Bright. This is one of those weird horses, like your Summer McQueen. She is a horse that scales based on stamina. So because of that, she has a humongous amount of stamina recoveries. But you need speed skills and you need excels to win. So not having any of those really makes it a very, very weird horse. She's mostly for long because of the huge accessibility for recoveries. So she's really only going to be a very solid horse once the Lose Yourself comes out. But even then, there's like better horses than her, so there's not really a big need to get Mejiro Bright. She's a very funky horse, so I wouldn't say she's going to be very good, but if you like her, feel free to go and pull her. Right, after that, we have Zenno Rob Speed. This is a great Team Trials card for late surges because it gives you a stamina recovery, a bit like how Mayano Top Gun for the fronts gives you Restless. Right, speed cards that give you gold recoveries are very good for Team Trials because then you can skimp on the stamina recovery and still get a lot of points because gold recoveries count as a lot of score. Right, but if you want to use it for CM, that's also okay. But unfortunately for Rob Roy, the card has no race bonus, so it literally will fall off once Man starts. But it will come back into sort of usability once the Grand Life scenario comes out. The problem once again is that a lot of these speed cards are very niche because they are mostly for team trials, while the other speed cards that we talked about are really, really insane stat stakes. So speed is too competitive, unfortunately, for Zenno Rob speed to kind of live, right? But if you need that late surgery recovery, then sure, go and hunt it down with the Zenno Rob speed card. Okay, moving on, we have the Sirius Symboli SSR Wit card. This card gives you a medium acceleration gold skill that is viable for late surges as well as end closers. You're usually fine with the good old number 1, number 5 or number 6 uniques and Nimble Navigator or whatever other excels are available, so there's not really a big need to go and hunt down for a specific medium acceleration gold skill, but I guess the possibility is left over here, and it is a wit card, so it's not too terrible. Wit cards to hunt down for specific gold skills are not too bad of an idea, but yeah, I wouldn't say this card has a very good stat output either, so yeah, it's just kind of okay. It's just kind of okay. Right, moving on. We have Nishino Flower for the late surges, because it's still possible for Nishino Flower to activate her unique, a bit like how Taiki Shuttle activates in 4th, right? So Nishino Flower also can activate around there, and then after that, as a late surger, you just need to hit there, you accelerate, and then after that, you hit your Dober or your Ryan, and then you Ryan into Nishino into win, something like that, right? So Nishino Flower is a bit more niche for the late surgers. They tend to be using Ryan and Dober the most, but sometimes you are able to use some other people's uniques, like Maru's unique, like Taiki's unique, blah blah blah. Sometimes Nishino Flower will appear, so take note of that for Nishino Flower usage. Alright, moving on. We have the Nice Nature and King Halo Cheerleader. Cheerleader nature is much better for winning than the OG nature, so just take note of that. You are trading a debuff for No Stopping Me, right? No Stopping Me is extremely good. We all know how good it is. The fact that after our Haru, no one else can get No Stopping Me unless they use Ikuno Bijin or they have it inside of them is a very, very big deal. So Nice Nature Cheerleader is one of those horses that has the advantage of having NSM inside of her. So she's able to go and try to gamble a victory as a late surger, which is very, very good for her. And Cheer Halo is much better than the OG version, simply because you use the Vision debuff to get an actual speed skill. Right? Her unique is also a 0.4 XL on final straights, so that means that on the really short tracks usually, you'll be able to get a very, very good amount of XL on those tracks and then try to win from there, right? So she's going to be very, very strong on those tracks in particular, and of course if you can find other tracks where you can get the XL on the final straight, that's also very, very good for her to be used in. Alright, moving on. We have Haru Urara Power and Ikuno Dictus Stamina. Haru Urara Power is very weird again because it's a power card. Power cards, you are mostly aiming to use them for race bonus, rather than actually clicking them for actual stat points. But of course, in Mant, you will level up the bond by default due to the barbecue strategy, so you'll be able to basically click these eventually. So yeah, this card here is not really a high priority card, not a really high value card. There are free power cards that are going to be used in there because they give you 15% race bonus, right? Like Nishino Flower or Marvelous Sunday Power. So those are some of the other ones that you may want to use over this card here. This card also only gives you one skill and is a bit funky in terms of the hints, right? Dictus is also weird since she has no specialty rate inside. So you can't click her for stamina most of the time, and she scales off the total bond of your cards, which is sometimes not going to be very good early on, right? In Mant, your 15% race bonus cards, you purposely don't bond them, by the way. So if you are using Admire Vega as a pure race bonus stat stick, you leave their bonds for last because you're trying to hit the rainbow on your speed and wit first, unless you are like clicking for guts, in which case you must level up all your guts and you must level up all your wit. Then Ikuno Dictus might be more useful there, but it's a stamina card. I would rather use Super Creek, right? So yeah, it's a bit of an easy skip here in terms of value. It's just general value. We don't want to be spending our gems on weird cards like these when we have much better replacement cards than those, right? So yeah, moving on, we have Mejiro Dober Camping. This horse is a little bit weird. She requires a downslope to be at the 60% distance mark on the track. But when it does work, it can actually become a good speed carryover, right? And then you can also get, you also have some good late surger skills inside of her, and that actually makes her quite relevant whenever her unique is good on that track. It's just because the camping horses, they change their excels into speeds, and then you just see which track you're able to kind of snipe that speed mid-leg to kind of help out with the wind condition, right? So yeah, Mejiro Dober Camping is a solid horse, not super meta, but definitely solid enough to be able to win. I think notably, the bad thing is that Dober Camping cannot really inherit Dober's unique, which is going to be quite terrible because sometimes you really want to get Dober's unique, so you need to find an alternative version, right? So that's one of her big downsides also. Okay, moving on. we have Air Groove Power. Air Groove Power is a bit weird during the men's scenario because power cards are once again used for the 15% raise bonus, so you don't really aim to click this one. Same logic here for the Air Groove Power. You don't really want to be clicking this Air Groove Power here when Nishino Flower and the Marvelous Sunday Power exists, right? Power cards unfortunately suffer from that fact that a lot of the other SRs or free cards even just give you a lot more stuff. I will say though for the Air Groove that she does have 10% raise bonus inside of her, and she does give you power bonus 1, stamina bonus 1, and skill point bonus 1, which is very, very solid stuff for her. Right, very, very solid stuff, but once again, suffers from being a power card, which I sometimes don't want to click. Once again, it's just a niche thing, right? It's like, oh, this card could be very good, but there's just much better cards to go and pull for. So once again, not really a very major card to go and pull for, unless you want that very niche thing to do for making a new track. After that, we have Narita Brian. Once again, Narita Brian is going to be quite relevant. She will occasionally appear, especially when your potential for Brian is that she can actually give you a corner activation and give you a humongous speed carryover boost. So that could be a very, very valuable thing for your Narita Brian. So she's going to be very, very solid and used for some tracks, not every track though, because of New Year's TM Opera O. New Year's TM Opera O is going to be more common than Brian, but Brian will occasionally appear here and there, so don't worry about it. Right? Then after that we have Throne. Throne for everyone is basically a ridiculously broken card for making a new track. Throne horses will be like 1 grade higher than like regular horses. This is how powerful this card actually is. It's really damn powerful. The weakness of this card is in the timing of the banner. The banner released so damn late that the usability of this card was just a really, really short duration. So it's going to be even worse for global unless they want a lot of money. If they want a lot of money, they'll move this card earlier, and then everyone will have to go and pull for that card because this card is ridiculously broken. After that, we have El Condor Speed SR, which is a very, very solid speed SR if you lack speed cards. This will be one of your hard carry speed cards if you don't have any other speed cards. So why is Throne so damn good is because it is like Rico, but it gives you wit. And then if you date 5 times on this card, you can actually friendship bonus this card. You can click this card as a rainbow randomly. So straight up, sometimes you can get like 3 speed rainbows, one of them being this card, and then the other 2 are your Biko plus Kitasa or something like that. Right, so this is a very, very powerful card that gives you an incredible amount of wit. Just an absolutely dominant wit card during this scenario's period of time. Once it comes out and whales pull it, I would go and borrow it permanently. That's what I would do when this card comes out. Right, just a very, very insanely powerful card. Okay, moving on, we have the Ghost Ship Summer. Ghost Ship Summer is basically going to be a meta parent for every team trial horse and debuffer because her unique allows you to activate 1 go skill regardless of any conditions. Very, very powerful horse, especially if you are using something like a late surger with double debuffer comp because you want to be very lazy, or sometimes you want to do a hybridized build, because I've seen some people do hybridized with very good wit now, so that's very good. So you can get like 600 wit on your late surges, and then you just gamble the activations of your debuffs / your accelerations, and then gamble the victory, and Ghost Ship Summer will allow you to basically do more with your late surger skill. So that's something that's very, very good for your late surger horses. Alright. After that, we have Bamboo Memory. Bamboo Memory's unique is situational. She must overtake 3 horses to get the full 0.4 excel. She does activate it at good timings on correct tracks. It's just that you may miss the full value if you don't overtake enough horses. So you sometimes need to set up the whole team comp just for her to overtake the horses, right? Because she needs to overtake a total of, I believe, 3 horses in order to get the full value of her excel. A very weird horse in that regard, but if the lobby is going to be a lot of late surges, perhaps you could be able to get the full excel. Otherwise, it's a bit funky. There are other horses that get 0.4 just like that, so they are better than Bamboo Memory already, right? So yeah, just take note of that for this horse over here. Bamboo is notably for shots and miles, right? Mostly for shots and miles. And then for the last banner for this late surger period, we have Light Hello and Agnes Tachyon Speed. Agnes Tachyon Speed is the strongest speed card during the Grand Life scenario because of her great stat output and 2 SP bonus. Grand Life also boosts your friendship bonus multiplier and also your specialty rate up through the song mechanic, right? So this is where they introduce a new song mechanic that all scenarios will basically follow. It will be like, I need to pull out vegetables, I need to do this discipline, I need to obey my elder, some shit like that, right? So this one is going to be songs. We will be playing a bit of love life stuff, right? So Agnes Tachyon is copable at 1 limit break because of the buffs from Grand Life. You just want to remove her from the borrow slot as much as possible. So even getting a 1 LB Tachyon plus the bonuses from Grand Life is a massive boost to your deck already, right? But of course, try to hit 3 LB or higher, otherwise you're cooked, right? Agnes Tachyon will fall off after Grand Life. She just cannot be used after Grand Life, similar to Narita Top Road. Right, Light Hello is usable at 1 limit break, very similar to Riko Kashimoto, right? But the Light Hello reasoning is not because of her stat output. She is here because of her special scenario link. She straight up gives you these special tokens like Vi and whatnot, right? So you want these tokens because you need to buy the songs, and if you don't have the bonus from Light Hello, you're like playing your Haru without Riko, which is horrendous, right? But in this case here, is because you don't have the tokens to play the whole scenario, so it really hurts even more than Riko. It hurts way more. Of course, the good news is that MLBR Light Hello is usable for this one. The reasonings for getting 1 LB or 2 LB for Light Hello for SSR is because you want more training effectiveness only. That's it, right? This card is clicked no matter what, just because you want to get the tokens. That's it. As long as you get tokens, you're good to go already. But of course, try to get training effectiveness so that when you click them, you are getting at least some stat bonuses, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it for this banners here. There are some other more generic horses like V Bourbon that I might have missed out over here, so if they are here, or S Maru for example, because you just want to use it as a stat stick, then you can go ahead and pull them. I talked about them in the general timeline, so just take note of them, right? Ultimately, for the late surges, their main point of pain is going to be like everyone else's, which is around the Fuku plus Fine Motion plus Narita Top Road mark. That will be one of the main pain points, because at this point in time, these are the 3 major banners that everyone's going to be looking at, and you will need to MLB a lot of these cards over here in order to make them very strong, or at least 3 LB to be copable / usable. Alright, so yeah, just take note of that. Pray for some good luck on Fuku, and then after that, if you have bad luck, go to Narita Top Road, pray for some good luck there, and then just all in Narita Top Road. That would be my general recommendation. But once again, some of you have very specific requirements, so you need to go and ask around or plan it yourself. Right, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this video over here. Hopefully this has helped you, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.